And we're back for our second best of one of the day. Meenix Esports coming off of a win. Granted, again, one a bit tarnished. Not to take anything away from them, but always sucks to see a game ruined by a disconnect of a player, which is exactly what we saw when, unfortunately, Insight lost a player. He did get in touch with us just a few minutes ago, apologized profusely, even though he has no reason to. Certainly nothing he can do about a power outage, which is what knocked him out of game one. So just hate to see a good game ruined. And hopefully they'll be able to get back and make up for that loss against some unfortunate team in the future. But anyway, Meenix back in action with a win under their belt already today. And there you go. I like that. Bruno Shostakovich helping me out with the stats here today, dropping in all the nice info. And that's actually a real nice time to do that, Bruno. Well done. Check out the ADL, AmericanDotaLeague.com, and find it on Twitter at American Dota, so on and so forth. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want. It's at AC. But Denial Esports, led by Eosin. Eosin, probably the most well-known player on Denial Esports, and to be honest, is probably a challenger, if not an outright winner for the title of most well-known player out of all the amateur teams that are in the ADL. And in large part, that's due to past success. Also, the name of his team used to be Eosin Plus 4. And I hope I'm actually pronouncing that right. Maybe it's Eosin, but anyway, his stack, Eosin Plus 4, had some limited success in a variety of different qualifiers. They got some pretty big wins in the defense qualifiers, for example. Star Ladder, I want to say they had some pretty nice wins as well. So this is a team that is relatively experienced compared to most of the other teams in the field. It's a team that has played against professional teams a considerable amount, and a lot of these teams really have. It's just, I'm trying to think of the way to put it is, a star ladder qualifier, whenever you have just this huge amount of teams that are participating in the early stages. Same thing with the defense. I don't think it has quite doesn't have quite the same feeling that a tournament like this does, geared particularly to service this community and service these teams. So hopefully the teams are getting that feel as well. At least that's how I feel sitting in the broadcast chair. But with Eosin, again, the carry player, the leader or a leader of Denial Esports, probably the shot caller if I had to guess. Again, a very experienced guy, a crafty veteran of Dota. And that makes them, in my mind, particularly dangerous. Just means that they're probably going to be a team that if you're up against them, you shouldn't feel overly confident at going to the late game. And I've talked about this with a number of professional players, other broadcasters and such. It's really the longer the game goes, the more that experience on one side or the other, the more that things like leadership and communication really begin to show themselves. And I don't know how long a lot of these stacks have been together like Meenix, but I would imagine that Eosin, again, with as much experience as he has under his belt, is in a position to be willing to go late. And we already see that manifest itself here with the Phantom Lancer pick. Now, Phantom Lancer, one has to wonder if he's going to be considered on the same tier following 6.78. He'll still be a situational pick, but he does have a hard counter now in the Earthshaker once that patch does come out. The fact that Shaker now considers illusions to be eligible for Echo Slam. So, not the case today, though. And Meenix, Bad Rider, was picked or banned in almost every game since November 2012. That's fascinating. And it doesn't surprise me. I can't tell you the last time I saw a Bad Rider not be picked or banned. I tell you the truth, I don't think I've seen a Bad Rider go completely unpicked or unbanned in a long time. But taking a look at the draft, Nyx Assassin, Keeper of the Light, Phantom Lancer. You got the Keeper of the Light, Phantom Lancer combination. Miserable in lane if you end up... Basically, you don't want to lane against it. Just so easy for the Keeper of the Light, the Chakra Magic, the Phantom Lancer. Let him spam out the Spirit Lance. Nyx Assassin, always going to be a... well, for the most part, shouldn't say always. He does manage to make it into the second phase sometimes. But usually a perennial early pickup. Meenix, though, with a very well-rounded lineup. And, this comes back to Shadow Demon, who I talk about all the time. One of my favorite heroes in the game. Honestly, he is my favorite hero in the entire game. I enjoy casting games with the Shadow Demon in it, love playing the hero, so on and so forth. But Shadow Demon just hard counters every hero that everyone hates, basically. Phantom Lancer included. Being able to disrupt a Phantom Lancer illusion with a little RNG love, you can end up with a Phantom Lancer army of your own. At the very least, it gives you a chance to stalemate a Phantom Lancer army in the late game. And it just like anything Shadow Demon does whenever it comes to disrupting a carry or trying to use disruption against a carry, as big as that carry gets, you end up getting just as much strength as they have because of that disruption, or at least a relative amount. And Denial looking very good, though, as they do have the ability to both push and anti-push. They're going to be able to split push quite effectively with the Phantom Lancer. Meenix going to go ahead and grab another carry. Love that pickup. The Bad Rider, we're not sure where he's going to wind up. Seeing the Luna and the Gyrocopter, though, does tell us that Meenix is going to have to make some decisions. It means they're going to either have to offensively tri-lane, maybe run the Bat Rider in the off lane, maybe run the Gyrocopter in mid. Right now, Denial does not have a dedicated mid at the moment. The Nyx Assassin could wind up there. I've even seen mid Phantom Lancers, believe it or not. That's actually something I've seen a handful of times over the last few months. But, yeah, there's their mid. So Denial going to go ahead and grab the Storm Spirit. So Meenix will have the chance to run the Gyrocopter in mid if they really, really want to. Flat Cannon against Storm Spirit is pretty miserable. Storm, until he hits level 6, can be challenged for runes very effectively. I really like Meenix's draft here. I think, though, with that Lena pick, they have a real opportunity to put some pressure on. But it would be, again, into a Keeper of the Light plus a Phantom Lancer. But, you know, as strong and annoying as that happens to be to cope with, the way to do it is just to come out firing early and really abuse the Keeper of the Light early one at level 1. Keeper really isn't all that excellent, and we can see the win rates. Keeper of the Light plus Phantom Lancer 50%, Shadow Demon plus Phantom Lancer versus Phantom Lancer 70%. Now that was an interesting topic. I didn't actually get a chance to read the Gyrocopter one. But Shadow Demon versus Phantom Lancer, 70% win percentage. That is fascinating. Bruno getting the job done, like always. But does look like we're going to have another remake after the draft, so no problem there, guys. But yeah, Meenix's lineup with the heroes they have so much offensive tri-lane potential. They have 3 range with the Luna, the Shadow Demon. Oh, very nice. According to the stats, the Gyrocopter and Shadow Demon are key counters to Phantom Lancer. Absolutely love this, having a stats guy thing. This is awesome. Makes me seem smarter because all I do is read the research that he feeds me. So that's fantastic. But we are going to have, as mentioned, another remake. We'll see how Meenix wants to end up laning this out. Denial Esports rounding out their lineup with Clockwork. They're going to have a little bit of reach. Storm Spirit and Clockwork, of course. Not that bad on the initiation front. Anyway, guys, stick with us. We'll be right back with our second game of the day. Meenix taking on Denial Esports coming up next. And we're back. I'll tell you, we just keep getting further and further behind the day. And I think it's just because it's a Saturday, man. Everybody's kind of chill. The admins are relaxed. The teams, yeah, we got to have remakes. Big deal. The teams are chill about it. It is a beautiful day, by the way. And one thing I love about our office is we've got these big, big windows that are like 8 feet tall that run all along the wall next to me. And since I'm not on camera, we don't have to shut the blinds and do the controlled lighting thing. We can I actually have those open and just see the outside. It is absolutely gorgeous here on the West Coast. But it's San Francisco, and San Francisco is like, the weather here is just stupid, legitimately just stupid good. And I promise I will talk about Dota. And sorry again, even me, just gonna take it easy on a Saturday. Tiao gonna wander into a bad neighborhood. And will be caught the speed. Yeah, he's just super dead. I can't even call it out. He got hit with every spell in the game. Got slowed down by the Spirit Lance as he tried to retreat. And, yeah, then ate all of the damage. All of it. All the damage in the game, he absorbed. So, nice for them. I mean, at least there's no more damage for Denial, right? Wrong! Denial has a lot of damage, and they have a first blood under their belt as well. Didn't see who got that. It was the Nyx Assassin. Great hero to get the first blood. A little bit of extra gold going into his pocket. So right off the bat, Denial coming out swinging, recognizing they have an extremely strong level 1 team. Now the question is, the Bat Rider will be jungling, and more I'm really, really liking the jungle Bat Rider. And it's always been viable. In fact, when before Bat's big buff, whenever he was picked, he did wind up in the jungle fairly often. He was kind of a situational pick at that point, but back before his turn radius got buffed and he became, as our stats man informed us, became a hero who since November has been picked or banned in virtually every professional competitive game. Just, I mean, insane stuff. But yeah, putting in the jungle, think about the Bat in the jungle. He starts out relatively slow, and he'll take some time to get to level 2 to level 3. And really get moving. But once he does, he can actually get up a Blink Dagger and boots ridiculously fast. It'll take you, like, the way to stop the Bat is to do what Eosin did, which is drop some wards. But you kind of got to dedicate yourself to it. As we can see, 2 sentries here. Looks like we are going to have an engagement on Guanzo. Guanzo going to be given the old end around and likely to be punished here. He has a set of boots, eats his way through. Will it be enough? Whoa. Nice light strike array from Cobb. And they managed to get another kill, or put their first kill, excuse me, on the board. Make it 1-1. Picking off the clockwork and punishing the little guy for being a little too aggressive. But anyway, back to the bat. You know, you got to dedicate yourself to it. Ward more than just this. These camps in particular on the Radiant side, these two. But so before he moves up into this jungle, that's when he really starts to come into his own. But this is how the bat gets ahead, by the way. He's already level 2. He's got 1 point in the Firefly, 1 point in Sticky Napalm. You can just farm this easy camp or stack the easy camp if you want as well. And then stack the hard camp. We can already see 3 good stacks. That's actually, well, I mean, it makes it a little bit more difficult since the Satyr does have the built-in regen. That does mean you need to kill everything off in 1 Firefly, which can be a little tricky in the early levels. But as you stack that up, you get 1 or 2 decent stack camps like that, nuke down with Sticky Napalm and Firefly, end up getting level 3, level 4, get 2 points into both abilities, and then you can just go crazy. You can literally get up a Blink Dagger, Tranquil Boots, and even have some gold left over by the 8-minute mark if you're super efficient with your time. But anyway, I haven't even had time to run through the lineups, but we are going to see a smoke gank coming out of Meenix. That is Geezy, and giving me the love. And I love you too, Geezy. Don't want him to think it's not a reciprocal relationship. Great target here in Oosh. He's level 4. Way out of position. Way too high up. Can they catch him? The homing missile's on the way. Cobb going to go around the low ground. The disruption catches up. Homing missile, light strike array, and rocket barrage. Make it easy peasy. Great movement there. And really, that's, you know, you see stuff like that, and you can understand why he's playing so far forward. I mean, it's against the gyrocopter. The damage that you're going to take from a gyro is going to be taken regardless, for the most part, regardless of proximity, just because of flat cannon. I mean, flat cannon, 1,000 radius, that is just gigantic. So he's going to harass you regardless, so why not get in his face, especially if you're a Storm Spirit, try to trade some back since you're going to be taking that damage anyway. But at the 3 to 4 minute mark, you have to be conscious of that. You have to be conscious of the fact that the single most typical gank timing in the entire game is between 3 minutes and 4 minutes, usually. And it doesn't matter what heroes there are. It doesn't matter if it's 2 defensive tri-lanes like we're seeing here today, or if it's a Chen. Even Chen is going to want to move out at that time. Enchantress, so on and so forth. And, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, that's when supports start to feel pretty confident, and usually that's when, and one of the reasons it is so typical is that's about the time that the mids are beginning to make their way to level 6. We can see Gyro's almost level 5 now. And especially in the case of a Storm Spirit, keeping him below level 6 as long as you can just makes him easier to gank and easier to harass, makes him play more timidly, makes him get less CS, makes him less effective in mid. Less effective in mid means he has more time until he gets up that Orchid. And a late Orchid on Storm is not the end of the world, but it just completely hurts his potential to team fight more than anything else. I mean, he's always going to be, as soon as he gets level 6 regardless, he's going to be a very strong single target ganker. But in team fights, very, very important most of the time for him to jump on a target, blow that target up, then jump out while he waits on his abilities to come off cooldown again. While we do have a pause, though, I am going to do something I neglected to do. How about we take a look at who's handling who? Going to have Tiao playing on our Bad Rider, the Shadow Demon, going to be handled by AC Lover. Yes, my lover indeed. However, that his actual name is Geezy, playing on our Shadow Demon. Fuzzy setting up shop here in mid on the Gyro, kind of what we expected to see. China down here on the Luna, and the Lena going to be handled by Cobb on the other side of the river. Taking on the Brazilians, we have Jan, or Jan, one of the two, playing on the Nyx Assassin. Phantom Lancer going to be handled by the big name on the squad. That would be Eosin, Keeper of the Light, going to be played by Chem. Storm Spirit in mid on the bad end of that early gank, handled by Oosh, and then Guanzo, who ended up being the other death for Denial so far, playing on our Clockwork. So they did opt to not offensively tri-lane, which, that's fine. I mean, it's not the end of the world in Guanzo. Ooh, this could be bad. Light Strike Array connects, and taking... Yep, he's dead. And again, you know, given it's not a try-on-try, it's not as poignant, it's not as big a factor. But Guanzo just has to be aware. I mean, not just the Luna, but the supports that are in this lane are ranged, and they're benefiting from Lunar Blessing as well. That's a bonus of 22 to both the Luna, the Lena, and the Shadow Demon. So, I mean, that's a lot of bonus damage he's taking. And Oosh, helped out by Yum, will find himself a DD, speaking of bonus damage. Helps him out quite a bit, letting him bottle up. He will be level 6 before long, and that's when things will get interesting. But, yeah, I mean, Clockwork is a great offlaner, but you can't die like this. And really, it comes down to Meenix just really managing the lane well and managing their supports really well. The supports are being very time efficient. And, you know, I've talked quite a lot about, you know, and this is a learning experience for me as well. Just to be honest, I have never, even going back to my early days, doing Dota broadcasts all the way back to 2012 before I was invited to the International 2012. Even then, I was doing pro Dota, very, very little mid-tier Dota, very, very little amateur Dota. So, you know, I'm learning as we go as well what separates, in a lot of ways, these teams not just from each other, but from the top-tier competition. And in a lot of cases, I'm beginning to notice it's how efficient you are with your time and how effective you are at taking secondary and tertiary goals after you get kills. And a good example of that would be EG yesterday. EG at one point was down 10 kills. They were being just throttled 15-5 in the kill department. But because their opponents were not taking, and I can't remember who it was. I want to say it might have been Meenix, actually. Now we're going to have a jump onto the gyro. Oh, he missed. He could go again, but doesn't really have the mana pool, so not going to try. Actually took a lot of tower damage there, kind of for free. But, let's see. Loda has 25 last hit average on 5 men with PL. Eosin right now has 33. That is excellent. I love that. We're going to have to hire you on, Bruno. Bruno Shostakovich. One half of the dueling Brunos. And, you know, Bruno the Stats Man, it's a lot of credit. There's another Bruno the Stats Man. There are two. And I've got the counterpart. I've got the other Bruno. And he is just killing it right now. Better call the poo-poo police, because he just murdered that shit. Oh, AC cursed on stream. That's okay. It's a Saturday. But anyway. 3-1, Meenix is ahead right now. And as he had mentioned, Eosin right now has some really nice farm going. 42 last hits under his belt, 37 for the Luna. But the point I was trying to make is how time efficient you are. And the supports, what's important here is the supports are managing the lane very, very well. Guanzo's getting very little experience. Clockwork not even level 3 yet. And so, but even though the supports are moving a lot, and they really are now with the bat coming over to take over the jungle, and this is what I was talking about as well. We're 7 minutes in. He started out slow, not a whole lot to notice, but now that he's level 6, already 1,500 gold in the bank, he'll have another 600 very shortly. He'll have that Blink Dagger up by 9.5 minutes most likely. But they're managing to keep the lane pulled back, to make life very difficult on Guanzo, again, because of how deadly the 3 ranged are against the Clockwork with as many disables as they have. And at the same time, apply pressure to mid. And it's just really time-efficient usage of their heroes, of their skill set, and not sacrificing any one goal. They're not giving anything up in order to succeed in these areas. And it's a really good play on me. So just giving a shout-out to the Brazilian squad. Denial right now, though, is going to be very happy, I think, with the status quo. It's always chancy, and this is a decision they have to make, and we'll see how Denial's going to try to bounce back out of this. The big, you know, their Clockwork isn't getting good levels. That's problematic. He's not going to have a lot of farm, and it doesn't mean that Clock can't still be effective. In fact, one of the reasons Clockwork is such a good offlaner is he can still feel very, very effective, even with a few levels down, being a little bit under farm. But on the other side of the coin, you want to prevent that if you can. Just because of how strong the hero is in the early and mid game when he has adequate farm and adequate levels. But with Meenix doing such an excellent job, they're getting good farm on their 2 carries. The Gyro not quite as much as the Luna and the Phantom Lancer, but still in range, sitting at 40. 51 for Luna, 57 for the Phantom Lancer. But the thing about giving PL this much free farm is now they're going to feel pressured to hit a timing in the mid game. They're going to feel very, very pressured to make sure that they either dedicate a significant amount of time to ganking that PL and trying to slow him down, or they're going to feel very, very pressured to just start taking towers and 5-on-5 fighting, trying to make him show up. The start Eosin has had, though, is just truly remarkable. And yeah, he's already got up a set of drums. We're 9 minutes in here. He's got a wand, drums, and tranquil boots. He is in great shape. 62 last hits at 9 minutes is stupid good farm. Just stupid good farm. And what's going to happen is, you know, Phantom Lancer, one of the reasons so many players hate him, especially, you know, matchmaking players, not even professional players, is he is a hero that he plays well from behind. But if you get him ahead, like he is right now, he can just go crazy. He can duck into the jungle, come out, and start fighting early. Speaking of fighting, Fuzzy going to be Vortex. There's the Impale to follow it up, and gets off the cooldown before he dies. Been a very effective gank as Jan hooks up with Oosh, and they're going to try to maybe move back up here. A little bit of Shadow Poison being stacked up. There's the low ground Dragon Slay for a little extra damage. But, you know, the Phantom Lancer can honestly start showing up to fight just because of the mechanics of the hero. Can start showing up to fight once he has the Diffusal and drums. And I really do love the drums opening on Phantom Lancer. I like it a lot more than the Aqualay. Just because it does allow him to start fighting earlier if he has to. And as good as Shine is doing, he's really going to, again, they're going to have to hit a nice timing and really start abusing what Luna can do in the mid game because of the strength of Eclipse in particular. And we're beginning to see some movement here to mid. This should have been spotted. At least one of those creeps should have spotted that out. Up atop, the Phantom Lancer putting some pressure onto the Tier 1 tower, but will be forced back. Jan, not quite level 6, under cover of an Invis. Going to continue to move in. We're going to have the Bat showing off his shiny new Blink Dagger as Oosh is brought back. There's the Flame Break. He's going to jump back to the high ground, spends all of his mana, so they're going to be able to pursue him if they want. The Homing Missile still en route. He's going to make it back to the Tier 2. Here's the TP reaction. And it does connect. Now they're going to re-engage. Fuzzy got impaled, gets the call down up and way in no man's land. He's going to end up dead. Now Geezy in trouble, and here comes Eos, and this is what I was talking about. He could show up and fight already. And Oosh on a killing spree. And the Luna, not a part of that engagement. She is going to be going for the BKB right off the bat. No surprise to see that, given what she's up against. Given she's up against the Clockwork, up against the Nyx Assassin, another great single target hero, but in particular up against a Storm Spirit. Have to account for the Storm Spirit. But a little bit of greed right there by Meenix. And they let Denial get a couple of kills on the board. Guanzo is beginning to soak some experience as well. And, you know, it's inevitable. You can't keep an offlaner down forever. If you are going to want to push in at some point. Wow, he actually missed the pull there. That hurts a little bit. Don't know that it's going to matter in the long run, but at least it makes China a bit more uncomfortable. And could end up letting, we're going to let Clock get a little bit more experience most likely. But as we're already seeing, I mean, Eoson's just in great shape. Luna and he are on the same tier in terms of farm, which is crazy good. And he's already got one Blade of Alacrity up. He is going to have his Diffusal Blade up so fast. And now we can see Meenix moving in that direction. And this is what I was talking about. With the Clockwork having a relatively bad start, and conversely, with Eoson having such a good start, they need to account for this. And as we saw, he can already show up and fight. So they may just end up trying to gank the PL, but even that's going to be chancy. It's going to be difficult. And Jan just found himself a DD. He's going to be spotted. There's the lasso. And he's going to be brought back. Homing Missile will connect. Flame Break knocks him back. Well executed kill there. Picked up the DD and just kind of chilled. Just kind of went on ICQ and started hitting on gals. 4-4, 8 kills on the board. They're both split evenly across these two teams, Meenix and Denial Esports. The gold very, very close. Still a very tight game. 500 in favor at the moment of Meenix. And the experience just about in that same vicinity as well. But yeah, another Blade of Alacrity going to be done on Eoson now. And actually just picked himself up a Quelling Blade. And yeah, I mean, at this point, he can duck into the jungle. He can sit and farm the lane. And I don't really like the way this feels for Meenix. They're playing they picked a team that has so much mid-game power. And, you know, it's still very early, still just 13 minutes in. But they have put zero pressure on Eoson. Zero. And he's going to have a Diffusal up seriously at like 16, 17 minutes if this continues at this pace. And if they get a tower, you know, even faster. And I really, really hope they have a game plan for this. The Gyrocopter has his phase boots up in a bottle, not a whole lot else. And he's at 65. Not bad. He's actually ahead of the Storm Spirit, so he did win that. Phantom Lancer just took a tower, and that's what I was talking about. Yeah, there's his Diffusal done. So, Diffusal Blade done at 14 minutes is just crazy, given he already has up drums. His GPM right now is at 450. Luna's right there with him. Jan or Oosh going to be lassoed, pulled back. Can they kill him? They're going to have to chain all the stuns, and no! Laguna Blade went off, and Oosh bouncing quite a bit. But so hard to kill a Storm. So hard to get him, and unless you just chain all of your stuns perfectly. China is going to have his BKB before long, has enough to pick up his Mithril Hammer. And now Jan, though, taking a look. There's undercover of Vendetta. Wanzo is there as well. But Eosin just chopping wood here in the jungle, doing work, and going to continue to do so as his GPM, no doubt, continues to climb. But what I worry is going to happen if they don't do something soon is, there you go, Loda's last hit average at 15 minutes of PL, 97. Eosin right now has 108. And a tower kill. And Storm Spirit does go ahead and deny the tower as well here in mid. So more map control going the way of Meenix. Or some map control, I should say. At least some of it moving in their direction for the first time. But yeah, recipe up about 15 minutes. All the time it took him. Now, the thing about Phantom Lancer, he's so straightforward. You can do some cute stuff with him, like if he wants to go with a flat-out butterfly, you can understand, given he's going to have to deal with the glaive bounce of Luna. And Luna's really the only... Luna and Gyrocopter, the big threats for him on the other team. But if he just builds a heart right now, given how solid he's doing, I have a hard time seeing how they're going to be able to cope with it. It's just going to be so hard. And China putting a little pressure on the bottom tier 1 again. That will force the glyph out. Reaction from Meenix as they move back over. But, you know, again, still very early on. But zero pressure put onto Eosin. He's going to continue to use his illusions to farm. And he's going to continue to move in the lane and find even more farm. And they're really banking, I think, on the synergy between Gyrocopter and Luna and the fact that Glaives and Flat Cannon can melt illusions. They're really banking on that quite a bit. And that's not bad. I don't mind that at all, especially given they do have a Shadow Demon. And here we go. They're going to have a hook connecting. Actually, what did he hit? Looks like he hit a creep. But it's always just so chancy to give a Phantom Lancer this kind of a start, completely uncontested. And finally, they are going to start to move out and try to track him down. This will be a huge kill for them. And they're going to be able to not... Wow! That hurts. That hurts a lot. That's just a flat-out misplay. And they're going to lose the tier 1 tower over it. They may be able to get back and defend this. They don't have a glyph, but their tower is full. They're already in position. And... granted, they don't have the most push potential with these heroes. Probably not going to try. But nonetheless, Eosin dodges the bullet there. And very well done. Keeper does get the tower. They'll end up trading towers. Could have been a nice kill plus a tower, but nonetheless, they do break even. 8 kills on the board in an 18-minute game. The gold has swung in favor of Denial. There's the BKB done on the Luna. Now, I'm hoping that's going to be their go item. I'm hoping that's the let's go find item. Because they need to soon. The Bad Rider had a very good Blink Dagger timing, and they haven't really gotten a whole lot out of it. They've gotten a couple of kills, but to be honest, any kind of decent stun or lockdown could have gotten them the kills they've been able to take for the most part. Where the Bat shines is playing aggressive in team fights. Being able to turn a 5-on-5 into a 4-on-5 right off the bat is gigantic. Wanzo has caught up a bit, tanked up a bit, got himself a set of treads. He is level 7, so as we saw, does have his hook. But Eosin with 1,850 gold in the bank already. Take a look at the pure net worth. He's already opened up a decent gap on the Luna. And for there to be, 1,500, 2,000 gap between the two lead carries at just 18 minutes in the game is indicative of the problem I've been harping on. Just usually doesn't happen. Usually a lot closer than that. But the Storm Spirit making nice progress. Just finished his second Oblivion Staff, so we have his Orchid done. In just about 550, call it 650 gold, give or take. Very essential item for him. And when you look at who he's going to want to jump on, it's usually going to be the Luna, I would imagine. Could go on the Gyro, though. And now speaking of jumping, we're going to see Storm engaging on one. Nice disruption, bails out Tiao. There's going to be Illuminate. He is going to lasso him back. Very nice reaction out of Meenix. They're going to try to mech through this as they retreat. Wanzo still going, and they are not going to pursue to the high ground. So Denial getting a little ahead of themselves. That was a very nice play from Geezy. Not just saying that because he's my lover, obviously. But very nice play from Geezy with the disruption to save the bat and the return initiation before his team could come to his rescue. And, I feel like both teams are just waiting on items. And that's fine if it fits into your game plan. Fuzzy will have his own BKB up soon. We'll be going straight up survivability. Just went straight phase BKB as well. Didn't even get drums or an Aqualay. China with drums and a BKB. Now most likely going to begin making his way to a Yasha. And eventually a Manta. Yep, there's the Blade of Alacrity. So Yasha coming out. No surprise there. And Storm's still very close to his... He may have his Orchid on the way. Yeah, I think he does. Nope, not yet. But soon enough. And the Orchid really, again, an essential item. If they can take the Luna out, hell, even the Bat, just taking Lasso out of it. But what they're going to want to do, I think, is try to funnel the Meenix squad into a position they consider advantageous. And they'll want to let Clockwork lead. They'll want to let Clockwork lead in with his hook, and then Storm come in from a separate angle. That way they can use him on a target of opportunity without him being the immediate focus of 5 when he jumps in. And Clockwork doesn't really mind that so much. But both teams continuing to do the barnyard dance. Just pawing at the ground and snorting at each other. Relatively quiet game with only 9 kills on the board at 20 minutes in. Now, the damage out of Denial is a particularly nice mix. They're going to have a copious amount of physical damage out of this Phantom Lancer. But, I mean, he's already got his Yasha. And, again, I feel like Meenix is missing a timing here. They do have 2 great heroes at dealing with a Phantom Lancer in an AoE. And Storm getting his Orchid's going to help them take at least one of those out of the fight if they can. There's a nice lasso. And Hook, not going to connect. They will be able to clean him up. Wanzo forced to pull back. So they're getting these kills on the supports, but again, they are just not pressuring this PL at all. Just upgraded the level 2 diffusal now. Yeah, I mean, it's silly. Like, last hit average on 20 minutes, 140. I think he means Lotus. But yeah, I mean, his farm right now is just goofy. It is getting so far ahead. Yeah, 192. Gyro does get his BKB. Now, hopefully, that'll be go. They need to do something soon. They're just letting this Phantom Lancer straight up farm. And it's real chancy to just bank. And here's going to be a grab on the Luna. Very nice target of opportunity. And let's see, they can honestly do a Roshan off of that if they wanted to. She doesn't have buyback. I'm a little surprised they're not going to try it. He's got his Yasha. He's already starting to tank up now. Probably on his way to a heart. You hate to see this. I feel like Meenix has played a good game of Dota. And given they built survivability in particular, like their damage is going to be okay-ish, but it's not going to be great on either of their AoE users, on the Gyro or the Luna. And Eosin and company are going to be quite happy to just sit back. I mean,
bottom tower has been denied.
The bottom tower does end up being denied by Guanzo. But Meenix, I just hope they didn't miss the boat. Looks like they are beginning to group a bit more. And this is when they really need to start doing work. If they can take a fight or two, they're going to be fine. But this is just going to happen endlessly if they don't. The ability for Phantom Lancer to effectively farm the jungle is just insane. He's going to be level 16 soon. And again, already with nearly 1,000 bonus gold in his inventory. He already has a Yasha, already has a Vitality booster, so he's beginning to feel survivable. And they're just kind of hanging back here. I mean, they're farming, but they're falling behind. They have 2 carries. But Denial has such a good team at locking down those carries with the Clockwork and the Storm Spirit that it's just going to be so hard for Meenix to take a fight here. I mean, they have to have the initiation advantage, and they do have a good initiator in the Bad Rider. But Bad Rider's range with that Blink Dagger just is nothing compared to the range of a Storm Spirit and a Clockwork. And Storm managing to grab himself a Haste Rune even. He's almost level 13. Get about 1,000 gold in. He'll most likely want to get himself a BKB. Or he could just go survivable. And, I mean, when I say survivable, I mean just build a health item. But China's just going to continue to farm. He will have his Yasha shortly, but he's going to end up dead right here. As he is going to be initiated on. There's the Vortex follow-up. Nice impale. Actually interrupted the Bad Rider. Here comes the hook in. And the lasso goes off. Drags him out of the cogs. They may end up getting a kill on Yan. There's the Laguna Blade spent. And they go 1 for 1 in the ensuing exchange. Storm Spirit going to be able to bounce back. And Meenix trying to re-engage. Bat actually bought back off of that. And a bit of a mistake there, I think. They're going to try to pursue this out. Keeper of the Light brought him in. I think. Or Keeper of the Light was bringing somebody in. Nope, never mind. I guess I could have swore I heard Keeper of the Light's teleport sound. But the Bat's just coming straight into the tier 2 there. But another very nice exchange for Eosin and company. Speaking of Eosin, takes another tower. He's just getting monstrous. He's got 3,000 gold. He's going to have a Reaver soon. 300 gold. He's going to duck into the jungle for 15 seconds, have that 300 gold, buy a Reaver, duck into the jungle for another 60 seconds, get 1,000 gold, and finish his hard. And then what do? You don't have damage right now. The Gyrocopter beginning to, he's going to have a chance to maybe get up a Demon Edge. But we're already beginning to see just how good Denial's team is at taking out the essential elements of Meenix. And Manta Style actually the choice for Eosin. Thought he would tank up first, not the case. Then, nonetheless, I mean, it's broad as it is long. Manta, he's hitting for 200 damage and auto attack right now. His attack speed's stupid. He's got 25 base armor. And compare that to the 9 of the Gyrocopter. The 11 of the Luna. They're going to smoke up. And in fairness, maybe I'm giving them a bit too hard of a time. Well, I don't think I am, though. They haven't really tried to put on a lot of concerted pressure on the other side of the map. They've been hanging around mid a lot and moving along the shores of the river looking for kills, and they've gotten some, and that's great. But no pressure put on the PO. Their farm is good, but not great. And here we go. There's going to be a lasso going to bring back Wanzo. That's a very nice pick-off. And with him gone, a lot of that reach. They're going to try to take another tower as a lot of that reach is gone, but they really can't without the Phantom Lancer being accounted for. And he's continuing to play quite far forward. Some split push happening. And they can teleport him out of there if they want to. We'll see if he wants to bring him in now. But yeah, already pushing in. The tier 3 is already down to about 2/3 health, give or take. And Uchi will be getting that BKB. I mean, when I look at the lineup of Meenix, the BKB, I mean, Lasso goes through it, but I guess just not wanting to deal with any potential Eclipse damage, any potential stun from Lina. Laguna Blade in particular. I think that Laguna Blade, though, is going to have to be reserved for PL. I mean, it's going to have to be. But, yeah, I mean, Gyro bought a gem. Oh, no, he didn't. Okay. He's hanging on to that for somebody. But, that makes me feel a little bit better. I was going to say, they're just not getting the damage output they're going to need, I don't think. 130 damage for the Gyrocopter, the Luna. Getting for a little bit better now. Lunar Blessing certainly does help in that regard. And we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, it's still going to be all about positioning, all about execution. You can theory craft all you want, but in the end, people have to make plays. But Eosin has just gotten so dumb strong. And only about 2,300 gold actually for finishing his heart now. We're going to see a smoke up from the Nile. They're going to go ahead and push on into the Radiant side jungle, look to find themselves a fight. And going to have a chance. Looks like their Meenix is not clearing out. And this will be one of the first 5-on-5s we've seen. True 5-on-5s, and that's the worst hero they could have getting picked off. BKBs go up. They're going to try to engage. Jumps forward, and Cobb blown up. Cooldowns there. Damage being poured out at the moment. Chim going to be cleaned up by China. And the gyro does decent damage, but not all that great. And there's a buyback, actually, from Lina, who comes in a Laguna Blades Guanzo. Ultra kill for Eosin. And he's still going strong. There's the jump back on China. And, yeah. That's a rampage, folks. And doesn't... I am no oracle of Dota. My knowledge, I feel, is passable, not grand. But even I can see that coming a mile away. Eosin is gigantic. He is huge. He is wealthy. He is the 1%. And he just has a rampage. 10-13. Coming up on 10,000 gold in favor of Eosin and company. The experience, same direction. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to call the game before it's over.
Radiant's bottom tower has
But
fallen.
I don't know what they expected to happen. I really don't. You have to pressure a Phantom Lancer. I mean, unless you've got like an Anti-Mage, and you feel like your team, you know, if you've got like an Anti-Mage and a Magnus, and you just feel like you can make plays with those two heroes, then maybe you just go straight up with it. But Eosin now with his heart done, 2,700 gold, level 2 Diffusal, drums, Heart of Tarascon. These are awesome stats coming out from Bruno. Average timing, 31 minutes, 30 seconds. And Eosin got it even a little bit earlier than usual. But,
Roshan has
yeah,
fallen to
it's...
the
Immortality
Dire's
Eek.
top tower is under attack.
We'll see if Meenix can dig deep and find a way to get back in this, but... I mean, the BKBs really didn't accomplish a whole lot there. The Phantom Lancer does not care. Clockwork can still lock you in whether you're BKB'd or not, and that can be a big factor. Especially now that Guanzo has a 4-staff. Eoson's just going to go back to farming. I guess a full inventory is not good enough, eh? He can sell off his wand if he wants to. I mean, at this point, he can get a butterfly. And it's going to be so long before Fuzzy and anyone has an MKB. I mean, and that's really what they're going to have. Because what's going to happen is he's going to build a butterfly. Yeah, I mean, they don't have enough. Neither of them have enough for a single javelin right now. So quite a ways away. They are completely out of map control. I'm actually a little surprised that Denial is playing this as passively as they are all the way back on their side of the jungle. Or their side of the river. They could just group up and probably go win the game right now. But playing it safe. Playing it safe, this is one of those situations where playing it safe is good, but if I'm in their situation, I don't want to play it too safe. They do still have a Luna and a gyrocopter. And those heroes will hit like trucks if given adequate time. So, if I'm in their shoes, I want to play patiently and not force anything. But at the same time, I do not want to just give them time to farm damage. Because that's what they're lacking right now. And we saw it. They couldn't do anything to the PL. They just couldn't touch him. And got a feeling, I'm getting to know Eosin. Don't know him as a person very well. I've only cast him a couple of times. One of those guys that likes his full inventory. And we'll see if they end up hooking up. I do like that they're moving out here. Very aggressive warding. This is how you close a game out, guys. You want to end a game and strangle the opponent? That's how. More so than anything. Get into their jungle. Take the jungle away. Play on their side of the map. That way, even if you lose a fight, they still can't take a tower. And ward like hell. Ward aggressively. Make them terrified to come out of their base. We're going to see this tier 2 here in mid. Brought down with no contesting. And Storm Spirit actually the one who grabbed the Aegis. Eosin feeling like he's plenty survivable without having to worry too much about it. See the sentries down there, so they do know that I think that should be in range. There is going to be a smoke right on top of that sentry, but with nothing to spot it. I don't think they saw it. Eosin now split pushing up at top, and the rest of them going to smoke down the bottom, it seems. They're going to try and catch someone napping. If they can get China here, this will be huge. He's right back behind his tower. They've got the Storm Spirit down there. And just hoping they can catch one hero. There's the gyro. And they are going to engage. Here comes Storm to follow it up. BKB's going to be used. They hook in. Illuminate doing good damage. We see the Nyx die, but China re-engaged upon. Here comes PL. Eosin shrugging off the Eclipse damage. And they do manage to get one very nice kill. The gyro does have buyback, and he may have to use it. Not going to want to use it. He's probably going to have to. Because they're not going to abandon this. Net worth, PL, doubling up Luna. And very nearly doubling up as the next highest in his own teammate in 13. Given adequate time, he would double him up. Just heard the Bad Rider grab someone. That's going to be the PL, but they don't even get him back into the base. It was a nice attempt there. But unable to get the job done. Fuzzy did buy back, and immediately Silence going to be focus fired. BKB will go off. We're going to see the cogs go down. Guanzo going to be getting out of trouble. Eosin's still up and farming. Yeah, he's farming heroes right now. China comes out, cleaned up, gone. They do get the Aegis, but at this point, I don't think it matters that much. Buyback from Luna, so they're all in. Already the melee racks is gone. And looks like they are just going to look to back out here. Don't. Yeah, I mean, even the Phantom Lancer illusions, just themselves are feeling hard to cope with. Meenix put up a good fight, but again, I feel like they missed their timing. They had a team that had great mid-game potential, and we just saw next to none of it. And that's, of course, a part of that is due to good play from Denial. Playing stable, playing safe, taking what you're given, and just being content to let your hard carry farm. But at the same time, some responsibility does rest with Meenix for that. They really didn't do a whole lot. They tried to just farm their carries. And, you know, whenever you got two carries taking the majority of the farm, as opposed to a hard one carry, a true hard carry, in the Phantom Lancer who's taking the entire farm from his team, gladly given to him. It's just a rough situation. And you know, I have no problem with the BKBs coming out first on the heroes, but if you're going to get them, use them. And tier 3 just ends up dropping. As it is denied, actually. PL split pushing down mid. There's going to be a disruption on the illusions. Little RNG love, and they're going to melt them down. Now they got their own army. There you go. That's why you got to love the disruptor pick. Or excuse me, the disruption and the Shadow Demon pick against the PL. 20,000 gold going the way of Denial. Coming up on that in experience as well. And China still, I mean, after buybacks on him and on the gyro, Keeper actually got an Atos. Rod of Alwi is in the game. The Atos is okay, I guess. Lasso will end up catching an illusion. That is so frustrating. Oh, that's so frustrating. Been there. They're going to follow that up, knowing the lasso's down. Move on into the base. Pipe's going to be popped. And in the meantime, PL doing his job here in mid. He's going to engage onto the gyrocopter. Get a fight raging back here as they are forced back out. Heard the Illuminate go off. PL still doing his job. They're going to re-engage out. Yan eating all of the Illuminate, but surviving it. Now China re-engaged upon with his BKB off cooldown, or on cooldown. He's dead. And Storm now jumping on the bat. He's going to be slowed off. Clockwork trying to catch him. Cobb ends up dead. And that should be your GG. As they just begin to farm towards the well. The bat does end up dead regardless. That's a very big gyrocopter. But he's just not even hitting hard. It's not a problem. GG's cold. 30 kills on the board in a 38-minute game. And a good draft out of Meenix. Just a little bit of wasted or missed potential, I think. And a very nice showing. Very, very nice showing from Denial Esports. Thanks for being a part of the broadcast, guys, here on a beautiful Saturday. It's about noon, I guess, here on the West Coast, getting on towards the afternoon and early evening hours out on the East Coast. And nighttime for our European folks coming up, moving towards that, I would imagine. Hope you guys are having fun. We're certainly enjoying our time here on the ADL. I'm here in AC Chambers. My stat guy in the background, that's Bruno Shostakovich. Just dropping the knowledge for you. And we've still got a lot of Dota ahead of us. Still have 4 best of ones to go before we put this day behind us. This one, though, goes the way of Denial Esports as they get past Meenix. Both teams with 1 win under their belt on the day. Looking ahead to the schedule for the rest of the broadcast, going to have Denial back in action. They're going to be taking on Insight. Then we're going to get a pro team in with Team Dignitas to take on Pain Gaming. That's going to kick off Pain Gaming's 3 straight back-to-back games. Dignitas versus Pain, then Typical Mistakes taking on Pain after that, followed by Team Liquid taking on Pain Gaming as well. All right, guys, coming up next, again, Insight taking on our winners here this time around. Denial coming up next. Stick with us.